The following episode may contain inappropriate material. Listener discretion is advised.
So we get a little bit of Beetlejuice mixed with dogs exploding in this episode of Mattalk. It is going to be insane to discuss what I watched in Matlock. And John is like, "What? Where's the Beetlejuice referencing coming from?" There's a character in the middle of the show that looks a lot like Lydia Dietz from Beetlejuice. Okay. And then the dog exploding in the first. And wow, amazing special effects in Matlock. Like, I cannot wait to talk about this episode.
Well, it's Jason and John back at you for another go-round of Mattalk. And Jason, first of all, we're going to say that it was a blast a few weeks ago when we sat down along with our good friend and fan, Gino Cuddy, to talk about Matlock. It was a great episode. We hope everybody's listened to it. And we're ready to discuss a new one. But before we do that, let's talk for a minute because you texted something or posted something in Messenger for me in which it was a little bit of a spoof, if you will, of a slasher movie and Matlock. You want to talk about that for a minute?
I don't remember it, honestly. I don't remember it.
It was the Halloween Matlock mashup.
I still don't remember it.
Oh, Jesus. You were
I share so much. You have no idea how much I share online.
It was a movie poster of Matlock, and in the background, like up over his shoulder, was Michael Myers.
Yes, I see it right now. Yeah, I got that from Bill O'Reilly on the Matlock TV show fan club Facebook page. I would love to see Matlock try to defend Michael Myers.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one. That would be a very interesting one to see. Yeah, I could see it just now. I could just see the stoic Michael Myers just sitting at the table, with nothing, and Matlock going off on some fishing expedition, right?
How do you know it was my client? He wears a mask and gloves. The killer does, not my client. Fantastic.
That's right. And then he could pull the thing. If you turn around and look at that door in the back of the courtroom, in 10 seconds, the real killer will walk through. And then it would be awesome if it was Jason Voorhees.
I think it'd be funnier if it was just a random kid with a hockey mask.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. That would be hilarious.
Oh, that kid's not supposed to be there.
All right, shall we go ahead and jump on into this episode?
Sure. I actually watched this episode with a Mattalk fan and a good friend of mine since we were in elementary school, and it was fun to watch. I keep trying to get him on here with us, but he's not really the podcasting type, but I think he'd be great on this show. So, Jay, if you're listening, you should totally join us.
All right, well, with that, hopefully Jay will come on someday, but nonetheless, let's get on to it. Let's start with our opening statements. The episode
that we're podcast where John breaks down the entire episode.
No, it's not that. Anyways, this is the episode called The Other Woman, and the air date was February 21st, 1989. And Jason, I know you had the same thought I did. You thought this was going to be like a scandalous, sexy episode, didn't you?
I did, because you know how Matlock gets anytime there's a scandalous episode. But this episode was a pretty serious episode.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. So there's no giddiness from Ben. He's not going to visit a lingerie shop or talk to strippers or have a call girl sent to his room. Nope. None of that. The Other Woman, as you'll see as we talk about this episode, it'll definitely be why it is selected, or why that title was selected for the episode. We do have 3 guest stars to talk about. And actually, all three of them have a tie to Star Trek. Our first is going to be our main protagonist, Nana Visitor. She will be playing the role of Erin Whitley. Now, that name and her likeness might seem a little bit familiar because in season 2, she played the role of Vanessa Douglas in an episode called The Best Friend, which, if you remember, Jason, was the one about the author that was writing the tell-all book about the senator and his wife, and then there was a murder, etc., etc.
Nice. I liked her in this episode. She also will come back here in just a few short years.
Absolutely.
I say years, folks, because by the time we get to it, it will have been years.
She is best known for playing Colonel Kira in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and she also voices Colonel Kira on the current Star Trek show Lower Decks.
Lower Deck is fantastic. If you guys are out there and you want to see a more funny take on Star Trek, or you got a friend, maybe you got a friend who is kind of skeptical on Star Trek, but you're trying to get them into the show, I think Lower Decks, maybe Discovery, but I think Lower Decks especially would be a great place to get them. And she also played Pamela Voorhees in Friday the 13th remake in 2009.
That's true. I was leaving that one up for you. She also is probably known for doing several voiceover characters on Family Guy. She was Dr. Elizabeth Renfro / Madam X on Dark Angel, which I totally forgot about that show. Do you remember that show?
I remember. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either, but I was like, that rings a bell, and I looked it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, the Jessica Alba like science fiction show that lasted like a season or two. Yeah.
I heard good things about it. I just never saw it, and I had a huge crush on Jessica Alba at the time because that was shortly before she did Fantastic Four.
Correct. Yes. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Dark Angel was on Fox.
Probably.
And it was another one of those, we put it on Friday night and then it doesn't pull good ratings, so we get rid of it.
Yeah, we're going to try to compete with Buffy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, the next individual that we need to talk about in terms of guest stars, James Sloyan, who will play the role of Dr. Lucas Forbes. Now, he also played multiple roles on Star Trek The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, but you may also know him as Avery Baltus on Party of Five, Superintendent Haysden on Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, several appearances as Robert Butler on Murder, She Wrote, and a handful of other kind of one-and-done appearances on various other shows.
Yes, I think I remember him from Murder, She Wrote, more so than... but yeah, he was on Matlock before also.
Yes, he was. Indeed, he was. What episode was that again, Jason?
The Investigation, Part 1 and Part 2.
Oh, yeah. I think that was one of the later... I wanted to say the first, but then I was like, well, technically, Diary of a Perfect Murder was a two-parter, but I think it was the follow-up two-parter, correct?
Yeah, and John's favorite thing is when people play multiple characters in a television series.
You know what? I've lightened up on that. You got to give me credit. I've lightened up on that complaint.
I haven't noticed until we talk about it on the show that we've had multiple people, but he was also in Quantum Leap, which the new Quantum Leap is still fun and great so far. So just wanted to give you guys a little update on that. And it looks like he pretty much quit acting back in 2000.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about our third individual who's played roles on Star Trek The Next Generation. Peter Mark Richmond as Adam Whitley. You may also know him as Lawrence Carson on Beverly Hills 90210, the Phantom / Kit Walker in the animated Defenders of the Earth, Andrew Laird on Dynasty, C.C. Capwell on Santa Barbara, and Reverend Snow on Three's Company.
Come knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. He was also in The Naked Gun 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
And the all-time classic, greatest horror film ever made, Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Why is that one a great one? And I don't know, maybe you're being sarcastic.
That one is awful, but it's awful in a fun sort of way, but it is awful.
Oh, okay. What is the best one in your opinion?
Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
The original. Okay. My favorite of the sequels is 6.
Why 6?
Because it's fun. It's when
what is 6?
6 is when Jason first becomes like more of a zombie than a person. Because the first 4, he was more or less just a human with slightly super strength and stuff. And then 6 is where they officially resurrected him from the dead.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that one just became a little bit more fun and campy.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. There you go.
Plus, I've interviewed half the cast and the director, so I'm very, smitten with that one.
Okay. All right.
He unfortunately passed away back in 2021 at the age of 93, so rest in peace.
All right, Jason, with that, then, are we ready to give an opinion? Your opinion, and only your opinion, so help you.
Let's testify.
It is time to testify. Okay, that was something there, ladies and gentlemen. That was something right there. All right. The plot of the episode: Ben is going to defend a psychiatrist accused of killing an abusive husband of a patient. So, opening scene, Jason. I know how much you're going to love this opening scene. There's a closed road. There's a voiceover describing an automobile accident. There's a car explosion, and a poor dog perishes. And you said it in the lead up to this. This was kind of filmed in a very odd way, wasn't it?
Oh my God. Okay, so first off, I watched this on Pluto TV. So we had the trailer of the episode prior to the episode, which I hate. I hate more than anything in the world. Why are you showing me something before I'm about to watch something? I mean, I guess I get it as far as network television goes, but in the age of streaming, I think they can cut that off. I don't think they're on the DVD, those previews, but I think in the age of streaming, we can just cut off that 4 seconds, guys. It's added 4 seconds to one of your commercials. I don't care, but I hate those 4 seconds. And then, this beginning sequence was awful. Look, I'm just going to say it. It was awful. So awful. The fire was awful. The explosion was awful. The poor dog just sitting in the car with this fake fire rising. And it looks like the fire was painted on the screen, like using magic marker. They just drew orange on the screen to symbolize the fire.
I just like it that, much like in The Simpsons, automobiles just randomly explode.
Later in the episode where they say the dog burned up. The dog exploded. It didn't burn to death. It was blown up, okay? This is... I will not stand for this dog abuse. I mean, it's obvious the dog is safe because there's nothing believable about this opening. I thought it was a movie. I thought we were watching a beginning of a movie within a movie, and we were going to cut back to an actress. That's how bad it was.
Wow, you have had a strong opinion on this opening scene. I don't think this has ever happened in the history of this podcast. Wow. I was going to throw this out there. Throughout my years of seeing various different TV shows and The Simpsons and whatnot, I'm still waiting for that one day I'm driving down to I-270 and a car explodes. Because I don't believe, only in Hollywood do cars just randomly break down and then explode.
I mean, it could have been the beginning of an Ace Calhoun movie that he made that he was showing Ben. Like, I did not believe that it was part of the episode. I really did not until it went to the next sequence.
And that next sequence is a psychiatrist's office where Erin is there doing her therapy.
Hold on, John. I'm not done with the beginning. So if you're ever gonna remake Matlock down the road and you want to remake this episode, you can just tell us about the explosion. We don't need to see it, unless you can do it better than that. I mean, obviously today they probably could, but it doesn't even need to be there. It can just be, words within the script that we hear about, and then maybe we can develop another plot point just a little bit further than this awful, awful fire and explosion. No offense. You guys know I love Matlock, but man, the special effects are not good in this episode. They didn't need to be there. They could have been cut out. That's all I'm saying.
Woo! You are on fire today.
I am, man. I'm in a good mood today.
All right, well, we cut to a psychiatrist's office, like I said, and Erin is in therapy. She's having nightmares of the accident. And the psychiatrist, who is Dr. Forbes, says, well, maybe it's because of this wanting to divorce Adam, your husband. We meet Adam. He is at his desk busily working when Erin strolls in and gives him the ultimatum about wanting a divorce. And Adam, he starts playing, well, you'll be alone. You won't have any money because you're weak and you're a cripple. And at this point, I wanted to kill this son of a gun. What a jerk.
Man, like, oh god, he couldn't have been like more like by the book, like villainous husband in this show. It's like, why was that a thing? Like going in and announcing you want a divorce. Like, can't you just like, I don't know. If he's that mean, like on a regular basis, like why wouldn't she just leave him a note? Like, hey, we're getting divorced. I'm gonna send you paperwork later.
On a little post-it note, just leave it in the bathroom mirror. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, piece of cake. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you this, Peter Mark Richmond, you played a fantastic misogynistic jerk. I'm just going to say that was some great stuff. In fact, even to put the icing on the cake, Jason, he's got a diary in his hands, a diary in which he accuses Erin of having an affair with Dr. Forbes. And the only thing that saves this is the awkward arrival of Hillary Benson. And so I wrote down right here, and it comes up later. I thought right out of the gates that maybe she was Adam's lover. Did you think that as well, or no? You had no opinions on the character of Hillary Benson?
I kind of had that opinion, especially when the one lady comes back down the stairs and she like runs out. But I'm gonna say this now. I knew who the killer was pretty quick. Like I may have already known by now, and kind of.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. For me, it wasn't this quick, but not too far along in the episode, I figured it out too. So Erin needs meds to sleep, and the nurse/housekeeper, I don't know what else to call her. Dora is her name, which made me chuckle because I was thinking of Dora the Explorer. Anyways, she
was
gives
like her house nurse or something. They called her something within the episode. I don't remember.
They called her housekeeper, but I'm like, she was distributing meds. But anyways, Erin takes meds to help her sleep. And so later on, Dora comes down the steps and she hears Hillary and Adam arguing, and out the door runs Hillary. And the next scene later, Dr. Forbes arrives. He's buzzed in by Adam. He is there to see Erin. He comes up to the front door. It's open. And Jason, as much as we know how much you hate this, he's going to enter the house and lo and behold, find a dead Adam laying on the floor. And what
it
does
looks
he do?
like he like gets down and like hugs him. Like that's what it looks like from where I was sitting on the couch. I'm like, wow, like is this guy's like just gonna hug him and get the blood all over him? He didn't. I think he just like hovered over him so he could check the pulse, but it definitely looked like he was like laying on top of him checking the pulse.
Well, Dora sees him over the body, screams, and then we cut to police headquarters. But before we get to police headquarters, I want to know, okay, look, it could be argued, Jason, that Dr. Forbes is a psychiatrist, ergo, he does have some medical training. Is he get a pass for running over to the body? Because we know, and if you're just listening for the first time to Mattalk, Jason hates when someone in an episode of Matlock just runs over and tries to and messes with the body and tries to revive people or whatnot and ends up with blood. Yep, right there.
It's on my notes. Lays on the body. I started to get annoyed, and then I'm like, no, he's a doctor. Like, okay. It would make sense that he would do that. I mean, it would make sense that anybody would go in and maybe check the pulse. But, I mean, at least he didn't, like, pick up the gun and rub his, like, all of his DNA on it and then, like, get with the body and just, like, rub his shirt in the blood. So, no, I mean, he did what a doctor should do.
Okay. All right. So he gets a pass.
Yeah, no, he was fine.
Okay. All right, police headquarters. Ben is talking to Dr. Forbes. He's a little bit skeptical of this house call, but Dr. Forbes says he thought that Erin was suicidal, and then the doctor discusses the marital issues with Ben. Basically, the doctor feels that Erin would be incapable of murder. We go to Ben's office, and lo and behold, Jason, he's fixing his shoe. Here's my comment that I wrote down. How cheap are you to fix your shoe instead of A, buying new shoes, or B, going to a cobbler who is a professional and can probably fix your shoe reasonably priced?
Go get your shoe fixed professionally?
Well, I'm just saying. Yes, you probably should. Or buy new ones. I know he's cheap, but come on now. And lo and behold, there's a phone call. Ben picks up the phone, and the voice on the phone says, Dr. Forbes and Erin are lovers, and the doctor is the killer. Who is this? Click. So Ben interviews Dora, and Dora claims that Erin was asleep and has no idea what had gone on because she takes these heavy-duty sleeping meds, and she was working out and did not hear anything. How much did you want them to do a product placement for Sony Walkman right here, right now, in this scene?
Well, she gets busy sometimes, being an explorer and walking with boots and hanging out looking for swipers. But yeah, dude, Sony placement like on the head. Oh man, I miss my Walkman. I spent so much time with my Walkman.
Okay, let's talk about a Walkman. Did you have the deluxe one, the one that had like reverse play and had the power boost on it?
No, I never had a power boost, but I had rewinding and fast forwarding. Is that what you're talking about?
No, there was one of the ones I got, one of the last ones I had like an auto reverse where you didn't even have to change the tape around. Like the play heads would just reverse. And it had bass boost. And then we moved on to the Sony Discman. Did you have one of those?
I did have man all the time. Those things, the early Sony Discmans or Discmans in general, they skipped if you moved them at all.
Oh, I know. That wasn't until like the second, third, fourth generation of those were they a little more stable.
Yeah, freshman year of high school, they were pretty unstable. And then, I don't know, by my sophomore, junior year, they started to become a little bit more stable.
Did you ever play it through the cassette deck of your car?
Oh, of course. Man, we were such nerds. My buddy had a van, and we took my home stereo with like the 2-foot speakers, 3-foot speakers. We put both of them in the back of his van. We put a record player on a pillow, and then we used like the whole home entertainment system was in the back of his van, and that thing was awesome.
How'd you power it?
A power inverter that turned your cigarette lighter into a normal plug.
Oh, okay.
Dude, we were nerds. We're nerds. You could figure that shit out. Like everybody was sleeping on the nerds, man. We knew stuff that other people didn't.
Like how to turn a van into one rockin' concert, man.
You had to put a pillow under the CD player or the record player, else they would skip.
Okay.
Pillow used as a shock absorber.
Please tell me that the van had like an airbrushed wizard and dragon on the side.
I wish it did. It was just a red mom van.
Oh, man.
In that time.
All right. Ben now interviews Erin, and she said that she slept through the entire event. And she does admit, though, she's not 100% sad about the fact that Adam's dead because he was such a mean jerk, calling her a cripple and weak and all that jazz. And then we get another mysterious phone call, and it's from a person named Shannon again. And it was real easy to figure out Shannon's phone number because it's in the Rolodex. And Ben finds it. And then he says, hey, I need to put somebody on the case of finding Shannon. And who better than Tyler
Hudson? I got excited. I'm like, ooh, we're getting Tyler in this episode.
Yeah, and Michelle. We had Michelle Thomas as well in this episode. They didn't get too much screen time, either one of them. And I think that's okay because I think that the way that the story was written, we had to focus more so on the characters that we focused on.
Yeah.
Tyler shows up to a ransacked apartment of one Shannon Blackwell, and he's told by the superintendent that she hangs out at this local bar. And so Tyler heads down to the bar to interview the bartender. I love this line. It made me laugh. Matlock. Sure sounds like a cop's name. You know that bartender had stuff to hide. You know he did.
Yeah. He didn't want Matlock looking at his books.
No, he didn't want to know that there might have been some nose candy being funneled out of the back of that bar.
Yeah, some illegal gambling maybe.
Or maybe some prostitution that would make Ben Matlock blush.
Yeah, it'd make him giggle.
All right, so Michelle discovers that Hillary, her connection to this and why she might be a suspect is that she was a model and she was supposed to be in like this fall magazine, but Adam decided in the last minute to dump her and go with somebody else. And then lo and behold, there's another phone call from Shannon, and she's setting up a meeting with Ben. All right. And here is where I figured out who the killer was. Sorry, folks, I'm not as quick as Jason on the guessing, but here it becomes pretty darn obvious. So Shannon and Ben meet. Shannon describes the affair with Adam, and Shannon also admits she called 911. And she also states that the diary has all kinds of evidence to link both Erin and Dr. Forbes to the crime. She claims that Erin is trying to kill her. And then all of a sudden, headlights from an automobile, because Ben and Shannon are in his car, light up the front of the car, and she goes, "Oh my gosh," and hides her face in Ben's shoulder. And I thought this was some really bad overacting.
Yeah, a little bit. She looks like Lydia Dietz in Beetlejuice, like 100%.
Okay. You know what? Let's address the elephant in the room. We knew it was the same character. We know it is not a visitor playing two roles.
I didn't know it was the same character.
You didn't think that at that point?
No, I wasn't.
At that point.
I already knew who the killer was, but I didn't know the where, how, and when, and we'll figure it out later. But I didn't realize they were the same person.
Well, see, I did because of the fact that she was going to see the psychiatrist, and I'm like, I bet there was a possibility of some psychiatric mumbo jumbo going on there. So I kind of knew, but I also was hoping that maybe it was like, oh, she has a long lost sister. But I kind of went with the idea that there's something going on psychologically there.
Yeah.
All right, we go back to Ben's office, and Ben is cleaning makeup off of his suit.
Oh, I love this scene. I was hoping it would be an Ernest P. Worrell situation where Ben would go to his closet, open it up. Because, like in Ernest, he had all the same outfit in his closet. I wanted there to be multiple suit jackets, and boy, was there.
I laughed hysterically towards the end of the episode in court when he goes, I was wearing a suit similar to this one. Or no, he says something about, I'm wearing one of my specific suits. I'm like, specific suits are all the same. How do you know that that's the particular one that you wanted to wear today? Oh, it's the one that had the makeup on it. Okay, but I laughed out loud for that one. So Ben interviews the doctor again. And by the way, okay, we rag on the shoulder pads, Jason. What in God's name was the doctor wearing? That horrific sweater that has this giant collar that makes him look like he's Emperor Palpatine. It was god awful. Why would you wear that in Atlanta? It's never that cold. You don't need. I mean, come on.
Maybe he had a Star Wars audition earlier in the day. Had something he needed to do,
Maybe, I don't know. He looked like a cast off from Dune. Anyways, the doctor says that he reads the diary every week when Erin writes in it, just for her own protection, to make sure she's not writing anything suicidal or homicidal or whatnot. And then Erin shows up suddenly. I'm going to be a jerk right here. How did you not hear her coming? Because the poor girl walks with a limp and she uses a cane. You mean you didn't hear clump, clump, clump coming down the hallway? So how did she sneak up on him?
She has a silencer on her cane, John. What do you want from me, John?
Touche. I got nothing to retort on that one. I got nothing, man. All right. Erin says that she will absolutely release the diary, that people can hear about it. Ben can use it in the court. So Ben is now somewhat skeptical about this because, again, it's like, well, we don't have the diary, all right? But if we had it, I would definitely use it. And so we go to the courtroom, and lo and behold, somebody has the diary. And guess who that is? The prosecutor.
Yeah, it is, because the killer's trying to frame a doctor.
That's right. And so there's a big argument with the judge about entering the diary into evidence. Ben does get a little bit of a delay. And so Erin is put on the stand. And the prosecutor is asking her to read parts of the diary. And so she does, relenting. And Erin doesn't believe that she wrote some of the parts of the diary. All right. So the doctor who is sitting at the table is very perplexed by this information that's in the diary. And so then we cut to what I think is the most irresponsible scene we have ever seen in Matlock. Ben is at the house of Adam and Erin. And what does he do? hey, I'm just going to open the front door. I'm going to bust off a few rounds here from this 38 special. Bang, bang! Those bullets go somewhere!
Isn't that normal in the South? Just open your door and start shooting. Let us know if you're from the South. Like, do you do that before you have like dinner?
How can they let us know?
You can email us at benmattalk@gmail.com. That is TTALK, not actually DOUBLE.
Not the words double T. It's benmattalk@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Twitter at @mattalk_podcast or on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast. Let us know. Is this a thing that, is still going on today in the South where you just decide to fire off a few rounds in the air? Because again, it's called terminal velocity, ladies and gentlemen. Those bullets got to land somewhere. Hopefully not in someone's face.
No, I doubt anybody does that, man. I didn't even think about it. That kind of raised my mind, like, oh my God, where are the bullets going to fall? But like, I didn't think so seriously about it. Like you did. I guess I was still hung up on the fake explosion at the beginning of the episode.
Oh, first of all, I can tell you right now, there are certain parts of our fair city on New Year's Eve that still fires off gunshots.
Oh, Columbus?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man, gunshots everywhere. Actually, neither one of us live in Columbus, but
no, I know from firsthand knowledge that on New Year's Eve you hear a lot of gunfire in certain parts of the city. But
yeah,
anyways, that's what happens when you live in the urban bosom of Columbus. Yeah, actually, you know what? Real quick side note: Homicide: Life on the Street did a whole episode on that. Like literally, somebody was shot and killed in the head, and they couldn't figure out who killed this individual. And at the end, it was revealed it was like a New Year's Eve party, and somebody went out and fired two rounds up into the air, and it landed like several blocks away, killing this person. So
I need to watch that because I love Law and Order, and I love the character of Munch, and I know it's like the beginning of Munch, and I need to do it.
Not only do you get that, you get an early Juan Carlo Esposito as well. So it's packed full of greatness. You definitely need to check that out. But here we go. Back to the topic at hand. So Tyler calls Ben and says, hey, I didn't hear any gunshots. And then Dora comes down and goes, I didn't hear any gunshots. And we also find out Erin, who had taken the sleep pills, slept through it all. Never heard the shots. So I felt like I kind of didn't quite understand like why Tyler wouldn't hear them, or Dora. I got that Dora was wearing the headphones and Erin was asleep, but I didn't understand why Tyler wouldn't hear the gunshots. Am I missing something?
That they couldn't be heard outside. They could only be heard from within the house. That was the point they were trying to make.
Oh, so okay. Thank you for clarifying that, because I put a giant question mark next to it. Okay. The doctor then talks a little bit to Ben about missing some of Erin's trauma, which is a vague hint about what's coming up.
Yes, and there's a quick news brief. Atlanta attorney accidentally shoots 2 people in the shoulder firing bullets outside of a house for evidence testing.
Julie March will be representing Ben Matlock in this trial. All right, so here we go. We're back to the courtroom, Jason, and Erin's back on the stand. And again, trying to figure out who called the cops. Was there somebody else in the house or whatnot? And also, who gave the stolen diary to the cops? Matlock opens up the diary, and he wants, again, Erin to read some parts. And Erin claims that she didn't write some of these parts that she's about to read. And she starts crying and whatnot. And we get to the line, 5 days after the word is fire. She is so traumatized she cannot say the word fire, even though it's written in the diary. Which Ben goes, why would you write it if you can't even say it? Because it's that traumatizing. And then we hear I wore this suit speech because I had makeup on it that is very similar to the makeup Erin uses to hide some of her burn marks on her arm. And so Ben does what? He summons Shannon Blackwell to the stand. First of all, look, I felt like, even though I kind of had an inkling and I thought, oh yeah, they're the same person, I don't think that you can just conjure up the other multiple personality in such an easy way. It just seems so easy.
Defend the episode. I know there's triggers that can bring multiple personality back out. Usually it's done with hypnosis, but It could have been a trigger. It's on the low end of believability for sure. But I kind of bought it because, this triggered that thing. I don't know why the dog triggered that personality to come out, because that one seems to come out mainly when the other one is in danger.
Totally overlooked that there was a stuffed dog in Shannon's apartment, and Ben brought that out, and that's the trigger that caused the flip. Okay, this is kind of where the episode for me starts to kind of become silly. All right, so she apparently has split personality. Shannon is the strong one. Erin is the weak one. Shannon is the one who shot and killed Adam. All right. But this is my whole thing. Like, I don't buy the explanation that even though Erin had taken all these medicines that were super, super hardcore for sleeping, that the other personality could remain awake. And so it was Shannon who was still awake, who got up out of bed, went down, argued with Adam, pulled his gun out of his desk, and shot him. I just found like that is, I don't know, I just felt like that was and I know he presented evidence, but I just kind of felt like this was incredibly hokey.
I don't know, maybe that's why they showed the fake explosion, because everything else just seems super realistic compared to that. So I was still fixated on the fakeness at the beginning of the episode that I didn't pick up on any of that. It's fine. Like, there are some questions.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's the one I was all aboard with everything else, and then it got here, and I'm like, okay, I don't know about that. Shannon does admit to murder, and dude, there's one shot of the prosecutor at the table. I felt so bad for the dude because the way he looked, like it was like he looked and goes, "Damn it, I lost again to Ben. Damn it!" Like he just looked like he was so deflated and defeated.
We agree. But you know what? One thing, I mean, at least for me, I don't know if you took this takeaway, but the mental illness was handled very well, I thought.
Yeah, again,
it wasn't played up as a joke, which in the 80s it probably would have been, and I do applaud that part of it wasn't played for laughs or as a gimmick, or like Ben was very understanding during that whole cross-examination.
Yeah, and you know what, that again, this is another example of that, because I think we've talked in previous seasons where there's been mental health issues that have been handled a little bit more delicately than was back in the day. So I agree. Hats off to the cast and crew for making that happen on this episode. So needless to say, the case is dismissed. Jason, do you have any other notes and or comments about the episode?
Oh, I do. I have one more thing that I don't think would actually ever happen. Hold on, let me pull up my notes. First off, don't the police record phone calls? So wouldn't they have been able to listen to the call and found out that it was her that made the phone call?
Yeah, you would think that, because Ben's obviously got connections with Bob Brooks. You would think that could happen very, very easily. Yeah, I mean,
again, that was brought up by my friend Jay. I want to give credit where credit's due. We didn't know if that was a thing back then. Was it? Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I think wiretapping has been around since the 60s and 70s. Yeah, because, I mean, look, wiretapping was happening in 89 because I know this from watching some mafia documentaries and whatnot. They were, the FBI were wiretapping, and then they were wiretapping back in the 60s because Martin Luther King Jr. had wiretaps and Malcolm X had wiretaps on their phones. So, it's not a new technology.
Okay, so my next question is, the guy's found not guilty, and he immediately goes back to examine her mental illness stuff, and I don't think that would be a thing. Like, she just tried to frame you for murder. It's a conflict of interest, because you could go back there and, one, you could lie, you could make it worse for her. Like, there's a lot of things you could do. I don't think he'd be allowed back in that room.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Yeah, I think it would
be fast. Like, you would think it'd be at least a minute, like some kind of a conversation to be made with some higher ups before. He's just like, well, golly gee, I'm just gonna follow her through this special door.
I liked too how Shannon would not let the bailiff touch her. Like, she yanked away from him, like, don't touch me, But yeah, that is a good point, because you would think that they could have wrapped it up where, like, maybe the doctor told Ben, hey, thank you very much, Ben, and Ben could have said something like, well, she's still going to be your client. Well, we'll have to see, and whatnot, because I think that would have been a better ending than the I'm coming, Erin. Hold on. So, yeah, good point. Very good point. All right. Are we ready then to go into our closing statements, Jason?
We are, John. This is the part of the podcast where John and I rate the episode on a gavel system. 1 gavel for it sucks, 5 gavels for woohoo. John, what did you rate this episode?
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, apparently we're just skipping over the sound effects. We're going right on into it. So it's closing statements time.
My favorite part of the episode.
I know it's your favorite part of the episode because you steal this from me all the time. All right, you want me to go first? I'm going with 3 gavels. I think that might be a hot take, but I thought that there was some positives here. 1, I felt like they kept a consistent tone. I was afraid that they were going to try to interject some humor, and I think it was great that they didn't. I thought the acting was fantastic. Nana Visitor, a phenomenal job playing 2 roles. When she was crying on the stand, it was very good. Peter Mark Richmond, what a jerkwad. What an evil individual. Really liked it. I even felt the doctor did a pretty decent job of being a compassionate psychiatrist. Also, we get MT and Tyler, and I put right next to him that Michelle and Tyler was just the perfect amount of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't get too much of them. We didn't get too little because of the way the tale was constructed. I thought it was very well done. The things I didn't like, I put down the multiple personality gimmick. I just didn't kind of like that. I didn't like that I easily ID'd Shannon as Erin when she meets Ben in the car. Like, it was so obvious that it was her. And I also agree with you. And this is maybe where some people are going to probably send some angry emails. But look, I understand how people feel about their pets. I do. But if your dog died in a car explosion, is it that traumatizing to cause you severe psychological issues?
Yeah, wouldn't they just turn into John Wick?
I mean, I'm just saying, it's terrible, it's sad, it's awful, I get it. But, I didn't see how, because partly, here's one thing. Dr. Forbes mentions previous trauma. Did he mean previous trauma to the dog dying? Or was there, because they talk a little bit about her father beating her. I'm like, but there was no, this is also opened up the gates of hell and, the abuse of dad and the dog dying. There was no explanation. So for me, I was kind of like, the death of the dog, sad. Yes, I would hate for that to happen. My girlfriend has pets. I love them to death. But, I mean, overall, if they, kick the bucket in some horrible way, I don't know if that would mean years and years of therapy. For me.
I want to start off by saying thoughts of John Orlando are those of John Orlando and not those of Mattalk LLC. But I want to say that I also give it a 3. Now, I think we could have cut off the beginning, gotten rid of that. And then you said the tone throughout the episode was pretty much the same. And I would agree with that, except for the explosion. The explosion was cheesy. It didn't need to be there. We should have just gotten rid of that. And then there could have just been some explanation within the episode. But I enjoyed the episode for the most part. I remember looking at Jay and man, this show is so serious. I don't know how I'm going to make it funny when we do Mattalk. And so I decided to overplay the explosion at the beginning.
But you did not enjoy that, though.
I did not. No.
Okay. All right. So you're just ramping it up a little bit.
I feel like the Michelle Tyler stuff was written for one person, and then Tyler was available, and then they split it between the two because I don't think we needed both. But the episode was good. It's fine. I enjoyed it. Good middle of the road episode. It wasn't extraordinary, and it wasn't offensive to the senses. Another one that might have been able to be 2 episodes, maybe dive a little bit more into certain things, but Killer was super obvious, which is never super positive for me. But 3 out of 5. It's a fun episode.
All right, so we're in agreement. 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I think that's 2 in a row we've been in agreement.
I know. And well, last time it would have been in agreement with 3 people.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk, man. What's going on with 3 Geeks Podcast?
We're live every Sunday. We don't really have a set time anymore. Schedules and stuff permitting. We originally decided we weren't going to go live anymore, but then we weren't recording throughout the week because we're all busy people. So we're like, let's just go back to being live on Sundays. We just won't have a time. We'll just do our show live, which is easiest for all of us. And then edit it down into an audio show like we used to do. So that is where you can find me Sundays, 3 Geeks Podcast, youtube.com/3 Geeks Network. And then everywhere you find podcasts, follow me personally at 3 Geeks J on everything. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I don't do TikToks, but I'm on TikTok, and it's fun stuff.
Okay. All right. The PVD Cast is my personal podcasting project. This week, we are talking to a gentleman by the name of Lee Exifer, who is a comic book creator. He has got a really cool book called Altered Ego. I talked to him, and we discussed that book and his background into art and his inspirations and Batman the Animated Series and a bunch of different things. So you can check it out at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great, awesome podcasts.
Is he related to Lucifer?
He is not. He's related to Nate Exifer. Why are you playing with that Pennywise doll?
I don't know. I'm fidgeting.
Okay. He's playing with a doll, that is, or an action figure.
Action figure. God darn it, John. Golly gee. You know men play with action figures, not dolls.
I'm sorry. I do know that. I have a garage full of them.
John plays with his wrestling dolls every time that wrestling's on.
I'm not going to comment on that. All right, with that,
the way this match is going, I'm going to make it better.
All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out the episode. And as they say in court, nothing further. The following has been a joint production between the 3 Geeks Podcast and John Orlando Enterprises, LLC, copyright 2022.